Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is Thursday, which means it is BookList Thursday. This is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. So today is a really fun theme for today, and I decided to pick books off of my TBR that I haven't read yet that have to do with this subject. So we are talking about books that have some sort of quest element to its plot. And so when I think of a quest, I of course automatically go to my fantasy kind of sci-fi shelf, but I'm like, you know what? No, a quest can be some sort of adventure or journey or travel or destination or you have a purpose for doing what you're doing. So, I kind of started looking through the other shelves, including my thrillers, including my historical fictions, including my contemporaries, and I even have a memoir. So these are all books that I'm super excited about. I just haven't quite gotten to yet. So first one that actually came to mind is The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Frye by Rachel Joyce. So this one has Harold Frye. He is an older gentleman. He leaves his house one morning to post a letter with his wife's while his wife is vacuuming upstairs. Just kind of seems like a typical day. And he has no idea that he's about to walk from one end of the country to the other. He has no hiking boots or map or compass or waterproof jacket or cell phone or anything. All he knows is that he just needs to keep walking to save someone else's life. It's full of unsentimental charm, humor, and profound insight in the things and feelings we all bury deeply within our hearts. It sounds, again, like the ultimate quest or journey that Harold ends up going on, and I've heard really, really great things about this book. Next one I have, we have Susan Meisner's A Bridge Across the Ocean. I have yet to read this one, but I really, really, really want to. Dual timelines, because Susan Meisner is like the queen of dual timelines. So we have February 1946. We're post World War II. It's over. The recovery has begun, and people are just trying to move on. We have Anneliese is a German ballerina desperate to escape her past, and we have Simone Devereaux, who's the wronged daughter of a French resistance spy. Two women are joining hundreds of other European brides, they're war brides, that are getting on the Queen Mary to cross the Atlantic and be reunited with their American husbands. So definitely a quest, a journey. They're going to kind of look for that new life. Present day is Brett Castlake. Visits the famously haunted Queen Mary at the request of an old friend. What she finds there will set her on a course to solve a 70-year-old tragedy that will draw her into the heartaches and triumphs of courageous war brides. So, and I've again heard really, really great things about that one. And then we have one that that has been sitting on my Christmas book exchange shelf. I believe this one is from Sarah, if I can tell by the handwriting. I should write down who sends it. But we have Ruby. This is by Cynthia Bond. One of those. We have Ephraim Jennings. Never forgotten the beautiful girl with the long braids running through the red dust and piney woods of Liberty, their small East Texas town. For Ruby Bell, Liberty was a place of devastating violence from which she fled to seedy, glamorous 1950s New York. Years later, pulled back home. So on a quest, has to go back home. Ruby is faced with seething hatred for a town desperate to destroy her. Witnessing her struggle, Ephraim must choose between loyalty to the sister who raised him and the chance for life with the woman he has loved since he was a boy. Utterly transfixing, this is a soaring novel of passion and courage. So she's, beginning of her quest was to get away, ends up having to go back. Again, journey, some sort of destination in mind, some sort of goal. Ruby. Then we have this one, which is a Book of the Month one that I pulled off of that shelf that I've been hearing some really good things about, and it sounds like it's pretty unique. So we have Lone Woman by Victor Lavelle. So this one follows our main character, Adelaide, and she carries this huge steamer trunk with her wherever she goes. Sounds like she moves quite a bit. It is always locked because when the trunk is open, people around her start to disappear. So it's 1915, she's in trouble. Her secret sin killed her parents, forcing her to flee California and make her way to Montana as a homesteader. Again, quest, starting a new life, but has to drag this trunk with her at every stop. And we go from there. But I've, again, heard some really, really good things about this. It seems pretty short, but it sounds like it's packed with a punch. And then the last book I want to talk about is, I got to get the name right because I don't want to mess it up. I wrote it down. It's called The Greatest Beer Run Ever. This is a memoir written by John Chick Donahue. So this one was actually picked for a book club of mine, and I didn't end up reading it at the time. So I have it on my Kindle, and I really need to get to it because it has been turned into a movie, it's going to be turned into a movie. Based on something, it's a memoir. Like, John actually did this. So takes place in 1967 is where it starts. John, his nickname is Chick. He's out with friends in New York, and they're kind of coming together and talking about Vietnam, about the people they've lost in Vietnam, about the anti-war protesters that are around, and how about the sentiment from the country of this non-support for their soldiers who are fighting overseas. And this group of guys comes together and says, you know what would be really great is if we could just go on a beer run, bring them some beers, have some laughs, show them that we are supportive of them, and kind of hype them up a little bit. And of course, this was said nonchalantly as if it's not going to happen, but John, Chick, decides, I gotta do this. And he does. He figures out a way to get into Vietnam, to go find his friends. And it turns into quite the quest, quite the adventure that he goes on. So it has been on my Kindle, and I saw it and I'm like, gosh, maybe I'll try to find audio. Seems like a really, really great book, and I've heard great things about it. My book club really liked it. So those are some books on my TBR shelf, Kindle shelf, whatever you want to call it, that have a quest in their plotline that aren't necessarily fantasy-based ones. So if you've read any of them, let me know, especially Greatest Beer Run and Lone Woman. I'm really interested in those. Head over to Sarah's channel and see what she has for us today for quest-worthy books. She's our fantasy girl, so I'm really hoping she's got some good fantasy quest books for us. I mean, there's definitely plenty of them. I've got some up here, but I'll let her take the reins on that one. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.